Everybody, this is Perch. I've told this story before. There's a few reasons why I started this channel, but one of which, and it was a big one, is that I wanted to try and get some facts out there. And for the first year, I was driving around a lot and I was trying to figure out my way. I wasn't putting a lot of attention toward the channel. In fairness, I'm still not, but definitely after about a year, kind of got more serious, got some interviews going, got these number of videos going that people seem to enjoy. The whole goal of all this was to try and put more facts out into the picture. And that's what I've done. Along the way, I've definitely pissed some people off. In particular, I think, I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint exactly. I think there's some extremists on kind of both sides of the equation that really get irked about this. And they seem to have settled down a little bit. But there's still one person who, he'll mail me once a week to let me know he's downvoted all the videos. And it's like, I don't know what I mean. It's a source of amusement. In fact, in many ways, if he went away, like if I stopped getting the email, I'd almost feel bad. I'd like it's become such a part of my life now. I mean, like I wonder where that guy went. Oh well. But one thing that is, like I said, I want to put some facts out there because one of the things that troubled me, or not troubled is the wrong word, but just would irritate me, is I'd see people who have probably good points, good opinions. They're coming from the right place, but they're dealing with terrible facts that just it will not help their case. And I got irked because I'd watch, in particular, one comic writer who would take it upon themselves to regularly dunk on those people. And it was always I hated it. It was always so disingenuous because we all kind of knew everybody could tell what the person was trying to get at, but because they were using bad facts or some bad underlying data, the guy would get dunked on for his bad data, and we just kind of ignore the facts, and it would always just irk me to no end. So I'm like, I'm going to put out some data here that can help arm people with some ideas. And then as I learned kind of along the way, a lot of people working in comics, they don't have this data either. So hopefully it would be helpful for them too. And in some cases I'm wrong. And so I get to educate myself. And then all in all, circle of life. It's all great. But what I can't quite wrap my head around, and I'm not willing to just write it off. There's fans that show up and they want to take issue with things I'm saying, and in particular, this DC sale or this idea that DC was going to shut down, AT&T was going to shut down DC. It really seemed to wind up a lot of people and kind of the worst instincts of people. And just recently, here's where the thing gets absurd, and I'm going to be like that guy who I'm not going to dunk on the person, but I kind of laid out the scenarios for what a sale would look like, what licensing would look like, why there's problems in both cases, and there are a lot of problems. It's a complicated sale. I think I tried to lay out reasons why. Doesn't mean it won't get done. Yeah, no, doesn't mean it won't, but it makes it difficult. That's kind of the point. So I have these people who come in and they I think they're trying to be condescending, or I'm not sure, but they'll say things like, I have sources within AT&T, and I know that AT&T is looking to get rid of DC. Yeah, you can't look. What you don't understand is my sources tell me, and I'm just going to say it. You don't have sources. If you're coming onto my message board in my comments and talking about your AT&T sources, you don't have them. Those sources are in your head. It's time to face that reality. But what really struck me the other day is that one of these guys is coming in and telling me this stuff. And I post the future state video kind of wrap up. And the same person who was trying to tell me that the sources were, that I don't know, because their sources tell them, their sources are making a fact that AT&T is going to sell this thing off. And there won't be comics in June. Just a few months from now, there won't be comics. Or then I also love the guys like, my sources tell me that they're going to shut it down in June, but then Future State gave them a stay of execution for 3 months. So now the date's September. It's like, okay, sure, why not September? But this guy comes in and he's like, oh, Future State's over already. Well, I guess it was a real bomb since DC's decided to cancel it after only 2 months. And it's like, no, it was scheduled for 2 months. We knew this because the solicitations for March showed up like 2 months ago. We're on to the solicitations for May now. We're we're going to be getting June in about 2 weeks. We knew back in in January, actually no, in December, that DC would have comics in March and Future State was going to be over. We heard from the official announcement that Future State was 2 months. How do you not know that Future State? How do you have well placed AT&T insiders that are telling you that the sale is imminent and it's going to be in September, when at the same time you do not know that Future State was planned for 2 months, solicited for 2 months? Everyone, it is known it's 2 months long since November when they said it was 2 months. How do you not know this? And I guess I'm at the place now where it's like I have clearly failed. If the goal of this channel is to kind of try to bring some facts and some education, I have clearly failed. It's kind of the same one. I don't know at this point how to answer the question, which I get on 100% of every single one of those sales analysis videos. Oh, wait a minute. Is this sales to customers or just to stores? Like every video. Like, what do you want me to say? I I don't know what's going on here. It is I, I don't know what to do. So I'm basically I'm looking for some help here. The help is, what needs to change in order to get this stuff out? I go through the DC solicitations. You can go, they're in the playlist. You can check them out. You can see kind of right from the very beginning. I mean, on one hand, I've got people like, you are doing too many videos on Future State. Stop doing videos on Future State. You're doing too many. And then I've got other people coming in going, well, nobody told me it was only 2 months. Wow. What was going on? With the sales videos, yeah, that's sales to retailers. That's all we know. I've got this question here, and I mean, again, I'm trying to be nice about it, but I have this question of like, hey, how do we know that the sales to customers aren't higher? Because the retailers order the comics, and then the retailers sell the comics to the customers. The retailers do not have cloning machines that can create extra copies of those comics. The number can't be higher. It just that is impossible. That's not how comics work. The customers going into the comic shop, now you go, oh, wait a minute, what about comics sold other places? I mean, sure, I don't have the digital numbers most of the time. Maybe there's, what are you talking about? What do you mean the number could be higher? Good God. And also, I've said this before, when retailers are not ordering hundreds of extra copies just for fun, just to have extra comics laying around the shelves. That's why when you look at the numbers and you see the whole thing, you would not see a retailer overorder on issue number 2 and then continue to overorder by issue number 12. The comics wouldn't be selling in the shop. The retailer would adjust their order down. That's how the business works. People don't randomly, just for no apparent reason, order more copies to just have them. That does not happen. So it is not a useful argument to say, aha, this is all just a trick. The fans aren't really buying these comics. No, people are buying the comics. And by the way, let's look closely at the numbers. I'm going to put up America Chavez here in a little bit. That comic sold like shit. If your goal is to say, I don't believe that 8,000 people bought that comic, I mean, you can make that argument, but 8,000 is nothing. That is nobody's buying that comic at that place. From Marvel, with promotions and overship, 8,000, nobody's buying that thing. It does not matter. We do not. It won't make you feel good or feel better. Hopefully not. If it doesn't make you feel bad that it sold 8,000, what are you hoping for? 2? Like, it's just dumb. I don't know. I put this stuff out here. I think by and large, I love the audience that I've got, and I think it's very good. I'm looking for clever ways. How do I continue to kind of put some data out there, help people out? I do think the original premise is good. I am trying to give you some information that you can then use to make better decisions or talk to things. I mean, there's lots of cool things about knowing facts, and I also even people who've been in the business for a long time, they learn something new. It's cool. But at the same time, like I think here's the conclusion. I think it's always smart to avoid being so committed to a idea, a company, an ideology, whatever it happens to be, being so committed that you start doing weird mental gymnastics in order to reinforce and support the ideology you've picked. I think if you find yourself having to kind of rewrite reality in order to make your theory stick, maybe it's time to consider your theory sucks, and it's important to try something new. I'm just saying, just sliding that out there as a suggestion. I think to me it really legitimately hurts me, or I don't know. No, that I don't want to say it that way. I don't like watching people get punked on. I don't like watching people get socked for having bad data. I think it's, and I hate it. I don't like to see it. I think it's poor form. I definitely think that people inside the comic business shouldn't be doing that. Makes them look like bullies. It makes them look like the opposite of the superheroes that they're writing. I think that's bad behavior, and they should stop it. Picking on somebody who doesn't know their stuff doesn't make you a big man. At the same time, I also think people should try just a bit harder to know their stuff, or at least try. That's not. I know that Perch is gatekeeping. No, I'm just saying, be open to learning things, and by all means, please stop telling me about your cousin who's an insider at AT&T and that they were discussing that they've got to get rid of DC before the summer in the boardroom. That come on, I think in your head that may sound really cool and convincing, but in reality, anybody who's worked with any kind of corporation, that's not how it's not what happens. So, for whatever it's worth, there you go. I don't know. I was really thrown by oh my God, when was Future State only 2 months? I'm like, always since they announced it. I mean, I don't know what Video's original plan for any of this stuff was, but I mean, even way back in the summer, like way back in the early part of 5G, I had always been told it was a Age of Apocalypse style storyline with that amount of timing. I don't know if that was 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. That was always what I heard, and somehow it's like I can't believe. Anyway, there you go. Hey, let me know what kind of things you'd like me to address. Happy to do it. All fun, all good. Sorry for venting. It is what it is. Thanks for listening.